Imagine being born into chains, only to die commanding the most powerful navy in the world. This is the extraordinary true story of Khair Barbarossa, the slave who became a legend. The year is 1546, and the Mediterranean Sea is the center of global power. The Ottoman Empire and Christian Europe are locked in a brutal struggle for control. But the most feared man on these waters didn't start his life in palaces or command rooms. He started it in shackles. Born around 1478 on the Greek island of Lesbos, Khair and his brothers were the sons of a Turkish cavalryman and a Greek Orthodox Christian widow. Life on the frontier between empires was precarious. Young Khair took to the sea early, but not as a conqueror. He and his brother Aruj began as simple sailors, then merchants. But the Mediterranean was a dangerous place, where fortunes changed with the wind. The turning point came when Khair and his brothers encountered Christian corsairs. In the ensuing battle, one brother was killed, and Khair was captured. He spent years as a galley slave, chained to an oar, rowing until his hands bled. The galleys were floating hells where men died by the dozens from exhaustion, disease, and despair. But Khair survived, and more importantly, he learned. He studied his captors, their tactics, their weaknesses. When he finally gained his freedom through ransom, Khair was transformed. The experience had forged him into something harder, sharper, more dangerous. He and his surviving brother Aruj decided that if the Mediterranean was a place where the strong preyed on the weak, they would become the strongest predators in these waters. The brothers established themselves as corsairs, attacking Christian shipping and coastal towns. They weren't random pirates, though. They operated with Ottoman approval, targeting Spain and its allies. Their reputation grew with each captured ship and liberated port. They freed thousands of Muslims living under Spanish rule in North Africa, earning them the title Barbarossa, meaning Redbeard, after Aruj's distinctive appearance. When Aruj died in battle in 1518, Khair faced a choice. He could continue as an independent corsair, or he could seek greater protection and resources. He chose wisely, offering his services and his fleet to Sultan Selim I. The Sultan accepted, making Khair the chief admiral of the Ottoman fleet and the governor of Algiers. This former slave now commanded hundreds of ships and thousands of men. He transformed the Ottoman navy from a regional force into a Mediterranean superpower. He didn't just raid coastal villages anymore, he challenged entire kingdoms. In 1534, Khair captured Tunis, dealing a crushing blow to Spanish interests. The Holy Roman Emperor Charles V assembled a massive fleet to retake it, but Khair was already planning his next move. He understood that naval warfare wasn't just about ships and cannons. It was about intelligence, timing, and psychological warfare. His greatest triumph came in 1538 at the Battle of Preveza. A combined Christian fleet of Spanish, Venetian, and Papal ships, commanded by Andrea Doria, faced Khair's Ottoman armada. On paper, the Christians had superior numbers, but Khair had superior tactics. He lured Doria's fleet into unfavorable positions, used the coastal geography to his advantage, and struck with devastating precision. The Christian fleet was shattered, losing dozens of ships. The victory secured Ottoman dominance in the Mediterranean for decades. Contemporaries struggled to comprehend how a former slave achieved such power. The Venetian ambassador to Constantinople wrote that Khair possessed an almost supernatural understanding of the sea and the men who sailed it. His enemies feared him, but even they respected his genius. By 1546, Khair was in his late 60s, ancient by the standards of his time. He had survived countless battles, political intrigues, and assassination attempts. He had transformed from a chained galley slave into the most powerful naval commander of his age. When he died peacefully in his palace in Constantinople that year, the entire Ottoman Empire mourned. His legacy extended far beyond his lifetime. The tactics and strategies he developed influenced naval warfare for centuries. The Ottoman naval dominance he established lasted until the Battle of Lepanto in 1571, 25 years after his death. Even today, Turkish naval officers study his campaigns. Hayreddin Barbarossa's story reveals a fundamental truth about history. Power and status aren't predetermined by birth. In the violent, chaotic world of the 16th century Mediterranean, a man with intelligence, courage, and ruthless determination could rise from the lowest depths to the highest peaks. From slave to admiral, from prisoner to legend, Hayreddin rewrote not just his own destiny, but the destiny of empires.